There is none like you among the gods, Adonai, and there are no deeds like yours. You are sovereign over all worlds, and your dominion is in all generations. Adonai reigns, Adonai has reigned, Adonai will reign forever and ever. Adonai will give strength to our people, Adonai will bless our people with peace.
Av harachamim, hitiv avitzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, kivichal levad batachnu, melech elam benisa adon olamim, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udevar Adonai b'Yerushalayim.
This is the Torah, Israel's consecrated banner of truth and of righteousness. It has been passed throughout the generations, from prophets to sages, to our own time. Once again, during this ceremony of Bat Mitzvah, we pass the Torah from generation to generation, from grandparents to parents to daughter, with the hope that throughout her life, Sammy will care for the Torah and study it, and that will bring to her an increased identification with her Jewish heritage.
We continue on the top of page 248. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Blessed is God who in holiness gave the Torah to the people Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu la'Adonai iti unromama shemo yachdav. Exalt Adonai with me, let us extol God's name together.
Lecha Adonai hagidola v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'hanitzach v'hahod ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz Adonai amlacha v'hamid na'aseh lechol rosh. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
may be seated.
Where is it? Here it is. Found it. This week's Torah portion is Parashah Shemot in the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. The verses I will be reading discuss the story of how Moses' mother floated him down the Nile River so he could escape being killed and is rescued by Pharaoh's daughter. For those who wish to follow the reading, it may be found on page 388 in the Torah commentary. For the first Aliyah, I call upon my aunts Debbie, Karen, Denise, my uncles Chris, Brad, and Rob, and my cousins Lauren and Melissa. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chanu mikol ha'amim
V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayelech ish mi beit Levi, vayikach et bat Levi, vatar ha'isha vateled ben, vatere oto ki tov hu, vatitz panehu sheloshay rachim.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natananu Torat emet v'kayei olam nata b'tuchenu.
Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For the second Aliyah, I call upon my grandparents Barbara and Larry Novak. Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'lo yachla od hatzvino vatikach lo tevat gomeh vatach marav v'hemar uvazafet vatasem ba et hayeled vatasem basuf al sifat hayaor vatitatzav achoto merachok ledeya mayaselo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet
V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu
Baruch atah Adonai
Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
For the third Aliyah, I call upon my parents.
Baruch et Adonai Hambarach. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Vatera bat paro lirchot al hayaor, v'na'arotecha holchot al yad hayaor. Vatera et hateva b'toch hasuf, vatishlach et amata, vatikahecha, vatiftach vatirehu et hayeled, v'hine na'ar boche, vatachmol alav, vatomer me'aldei ha'ivrim zeh. Vatomer achoto el bat paro ha'elech v'karati la isha meineket nin ha'ivreot vatiniklach et hayaled.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam notavotinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Amen. Tamor, 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 simcha, bat mitzvah.
Baruchu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hambarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Vatomer la bat paro lehi, vatelech ha'alma, vatikra et im hayaled. Vatomer la bat paro, helihi et hayeled hazeh, v'heni ki huli, va'ani etin et sefarich, vatikach ha'isha, hayeled vatdikehu, vayigdal hayeled, vatzviechu levat paro, v'hilach levin, vatikra shemo Moshe, vatomer, kimin hamayim, Moshihu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata v'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
I now call to the Bima, Adam, who will be helping us dress the Torah, and let us rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה.
You may be seated.
The Haftarah portion is taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verses 4 through 6. It tells of how the beautiful city of Ephraim is being ruined by the greedy people and how they pray to God to restore the city's beauty. For those who wish to follow the reading, it may be found on page 694 in the Torah commentary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bechar bin vi'im tovim v'ratzah b'divrehem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'invi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek v'hayital Tzeitzat novel tzivi tifarto asher al rosh gei shemanim kivikura b'terem kites asher yireh haroeh otah be'odah bechapo yivla'ena bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai tzivaot la'ateret tzivi b'litzvirat tifarat Lishar amo uruach mishpat la yoshev al hamishpat v'ligvura mishivei milchama shara Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzor kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber kayim shekol devarav emet v'tzedek Al HaTorah, Ve'al HaAvodah, Ve'al HaNevi'im, Ve'al Yom HaShabbat Hazeh, Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, Likdusha v'limnucha, Lechavod u'tifaret, Al HaKol, Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu modim lach, U'mevarchim otah, Yitzbarach Shimcha b'fi kol chai, Tamid le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. This week's Torah portion is Parashah Shemot in the book of Exodus, chapter 2, verses 1 through 10. The verses I read discussed the story of Moses and how he ended up in the care of Pharaoh's daughter. The Parashah begins with the thoughts of the Egyptian king as he looked out on his kingdom. He decided that the Israelites were outnumbering the Egyptians. As a result, he ordered the midwives to execute every Hebrew baby boy and let the baby girls live. Later on in the story, a baby boy is born, and out of the child's beauty and the mother's love, she hid him for 3 months. When she knew she could hide him no longer, she put him in a basket and floated him down the Nile River. The basket is seen by the Pharaoh's daughter. After determining that it was a Hebrew child, she still raised him as her own and named him Moses because she drew him out of the water. The Talmud says, if you save a life, it's as if you save the whole world. This quote is the main theme of my parashah because, in fact, both Moses' mother and Pharaoh's daughter did save a life, and that life went on to save the Jewish people. Even though not many of us will save the entire future of the Jewish people, by saving one life or helping one person, you are helping all of the people that will come after them. This relates to my life because there are times where the right thing to do isn't always the easiest thing to do. This happens a lot to me and a lot with my friends and family. Sometimes the thing that will make them happy is not the easy thing or the thing that I really want to do then, but I know that it is better in the long run. According to this story, when Moses grew to become an adult, he had to make a very difficult decision, especially following the demand that he return to Egypt and bring the Israelites out of slavery. Adult responsibility involves doing what you believe to be right, even though it's not easy. That is the message of my Torah portion and all of the Bat Mitzvah ceremony. For my mitzvah project, I am working with the first and second graders at the Ossining Children's Center, which is a locally based after-school program for the lower-income families. As part of my mitzvah project, I have set up a book drive for their classroom, which is set up in the temple lobby and at my house. Working with these kids has taught me responsibility and to be grateful for our fortunes. To conclude, I would like to say thank you to Rabbi Fuchs, Rabbi Middleman, Cantor Trumpeter, and my friends and family for helping me get to this point today.
you so very much exemplify the message of your Torah portion. The message of accepting adult responsibility. We who have worked with you and have come to know you realize that you are very much an adult at a very young age. That you have not just a wonderful charm and a wonderful presence, but you just seem to have insight and understanding and sensitivity, knowing how to react at the moment, knowing what other people need, knowing how you should respond in all kinds of different situations. Wonderful, wonderful traits. And certainly traits that are very mature and in many cases, I'm sure, well beyond your years. What you are doing with children is also accepting adult responsibility. Those children in future years will remember what you have done for them. You may never know who they are in the future. You may never know what they have done with their lives. But you can be absolutely certain that what you have done for them has made a difference. And that when they go on and become adults, what they have been able to achieve in their lives is partly because of what you have done with them in their very young years. So, Sammy, this is a wonderful moment for all of us to celebrate, not just today, but to celebrate who you are as a human being, a person, and a wonderful young adult.
Sammy, we are so proud of you today for the person you were, who you are right now, and whoever you're going to be in the future. And so it's a great honor to give you this blessing. This is the oldest blessing our people have. It was the blessing that the priests in Jerusalem gave to people at important moments in their lives. It's 3,000 years old. And what better moment than right now as you become a bat mitzvah for me to give this blessing to you. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face be turned to you and be gracious to you. May God's face always be turned to you. Bring you the greatest gift of all, the gift of shalom, peace, harmony, and wholeness. Amen.
Sammy read from the beginning of the second book of the Torah, a book which in many ways is the beginning of the journey of the Jewish people. There are many stories about that moment and that beginning. The day approached when, according to Egyptian astrologers, the liberator of the children of Israel was about to be born. But they did not know whether that liberator would be Jewish or Egyptian. So all male children born that day were to be thrown into the water by order of the Pharaoh. That same day, Yocheved, Amram's wife, gave birth, and according to the story, it was obvious this was an extraordinary child. His parents tried everything to prevent his falling into the hands of the Pharaoh, because Pharaoh's men were continuously searching for newborn Jewish children. The story goes that after 3 months, Yocheved saw that she could not continue to protect and hide her child. So she placed him in a basket and set him among the reeds growing on the brink of the Nile. But her daughter Miriam remained to watch the baby. The day was hot, says the story. Pharaoh's daughter came out to the river accompanied by her maids to take a bath to cool off. And she heard a wailing baby somewhere in the water. She found the basket and she was intrigued by the beauty of this baby boy. And she quickly realized that this child was born to a Jewish family, and so this child was condemned to death. But somehow she took mercy, and the child refused to be nursed by any of the Egyptian maids in waiting. And the child continued to cry. So Miriam, watching her brother, came to the princess and offered a nursemaid. And of course, the nursemaid she offered was her mother. And so for 2 years, this baby was left in the care of his own mother, unknown to the Pharaoh and the Pharaoh's daughter. According to the story, Pharaoh's daughter told her father that she had adopted a Jewish child. And he amazingly did not object. Pharaoh's advisors objected, however, telling him that this Jewish child would be the liberator of the Jewish people and would cause all kinds of difficulties in the future.